Earlier today, I found out that one of my friends named Hugo, also known on YouTube as Deporchuchis, had passed away. Several years into me living in Dallas, he was someone that I had met in the club scene initially, and ultimately, he did YouTube, I did YouTube, and we had connected even further on that level. And we were also just two supporters of each other, really, because he would help me with my issues, I would help him with his issues. We would have long phone calls, just long conversations about, our lives and like how to get shit straight. And, ultimately, it's unfortunate. There is a lot of drama. Well, I won't say drama, but there's a lot of speculation rather as to how he died. There's just certain things, people think it's one thing, other people think it's another. There's just a lot of rumors and all of that, but that's really irrelevant because the point is that he's gone. The past few weeks, he had been experiencing some health issues, and I just wanted to read just a little bit of what he posted as far as his last post was concerned, which was on April the 7th. And this will be in Spanish, but I'll translate. Yo siempre he dicho no le tengo miedo a la muerte. Tengo miedo a morir solo sin despedirme de mi familia y mis amigos. Ultimately translates to he never feared death, but he was always afraid of dying alone and, just not being able to say goodbye to, family and friends. Especially with the time that we're in right now, I just want you to take the time to tell people that you love them. Never use a holiday. I always never understood that how people use holidays and, birthdays to say that they care. You don't need that to, actually express your feelings. Call people, tell them how you feel. One thing that Hugo loved about me is that, as you all know, I'm a very blunt person. I say what's on my mind and I really don't care. And I love venting, which would completely crack him up. So I'm sure if he's watching down right now, watching this video, he'll probably completely crack up because this video will be dedicated to him. It's something that I know that would make him laugh, and it'll make me feel better too because I'd rather be laughing than be sad about, him being gone. But this video is dedicated in his memory. Before we proceed, please take a minute to subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed already. And if you are subscribed, please make sure that your notification bell is on just so that you get notifications when I do have new videos out. And as always, hit that like button. If you have been a part of the nation for any stretch of time, you're probably aware that one of the things that pisses me off more than anything on this earth is poor customer service. That and when Popeyes runs out of white meat and then I gotta pull up to that trash can and wait 20 minutes. Though there are other things that do upset me, those two things tend to sit at the top. However, customer service is number one. So with returning to YouTube, my partner and I have been just searching a lot of videos and trying to make sure that we had everything right for this return to be right because I wanted to step my cookies up. So I got a new camera. I have a complete new setup that's sitting in front of me. I have lighting all around me so that I can make sure that you get a good video and that everything looks the way that I want it to look. One unknown fact about me is that I'm not technologically savvy. I'm not sure if I ever told you guys, but yeah, I don't know anything when it comes to technology. I don't understand how most things work. And because my partner happens to be the technologically savvy person, the person who loves like electronics, loves computers, loves to put things together, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I'm not that type of girl. So we're trying to achieve a particular look or just, present something to you visually that's pleasing to my eye. I, will want certain things and then I'll have him do the research because I don't know what the words are to even put together to, actually buy something. I don't know what I'm buying. So, he'll, tell me, oh, well, you need to get this, or this is what I've researched, which means going to YouTube, of course, or our good friend Google. And, we'll go ahead and place the order. So there's this store in Dallas known as Micro Center. I'm sure they have other stores throughout the country. And he went there previously and he enjoyed it. So he even got a credit card with them. He likes the store. I've never been there until now. So to give you a timeline, last Sunday, he placed an order for 2 particular items that would assist me with lighting. And let me preface this, I'm gonna probably say it again, but let me preface this and say that I understand that, you know, we've got the Rona, we've got a pandemic going around, you got stimulus checks floating around. So people running around with money, well, they're running around spending money they probably shouldn't be spending, but a lot of people are just spending money in general just because there's nothing else to do.
I'm bored. What y'all doing in here? It ain't shit to do. I'm running out of shit to do. I'm looking for something else.
People are out shopping, so I don't expect to go to a store and just walk in, walk out, no problem. So on Thursday, I had to run some errands anyway, and so I told him, you know, while he was working, I was like, oh, well, I'll go ahead and go to Micro Center and pick up the order. Keep in mind that under normal circumstances, you know, you place an order online with them, they allocate the merchandise, you go pick it up, you know, and of course right now they're doing curbside pickups. So under normal circumstances, you would physically walk into the store, but they are allowing people to go in, however, in limited quantities. And please also note that this place is probably 25 to 30 minutes away from us. So I go ahead, run my little errands, and I go ahead and scurry along up the freeway and head to Micro Center. I get there, the parking lot is practically full. It's just like when I went to Best Buy to get a new microphone. It's the same thing. Parking lot was, you know, totally full. It looked insane, looked like Black Friday, but there wasn't a line per se. And plus I had an order, so, you know, it's not like I was trying to go into the store. So I thought I could just walk up there and say, hey, you know, I got this order. So I just went ahead, walked up to the front, walked past everybody because y'all know I don't care. So I walked past everybody and I went straight to the front of the line. I explained to them that we placed an order online and we were here to pick it up. We hadn't received any notification. Also note that you can't chat with them online. They've literally disabled chat online. You can't email them. If you email them, they do not respond. And they had never actually sent a notification that the order was ready. But keep in mind, we placed this order on Sunday morning. So it's been several days. On their site, it says that, you know, your order should be ready for pickup within about, I think it says 18 minutes. And of course, that didn't take place. But I still gave them the Rona benefit of the doubt. And I said, okay, maybe there's a delay. So maybe that's why we haven't received the email. But of course, they would have to have had it already packed and ready to go, right? So I walked to the front of the line. Of course, all these people giving me the side eye, don't care. And we'll call this person, we'll call her Gabriela. So I went ahead and I spoke with Gabriela. I was like, hey, Gabby girl, I placed an order online and I'm just here to pick it up. So I came up there all professional. I had my phone out. I said, here's my order number. Can you help me? So then she stops me and says that they don't go by order numbers. And I'm like, why the fuck you give me an order number? First of all, what company doesn't go by order numbers? But that's besides the point. So then she asked me for my name. So I give her my partner's name because it was under him. And then she gives the information to her manager, or I guess one of the store managers. We're gonna call her Becky. So Becky takes the little post-it note that Gabby had written on, and she walks and says, you know, give me a minute. I'll go ahead and go check the order. So she leaves. She's gone for probably maybe 5 to 7 minutes, okay? And in this time, first of all, there's another, I don't know if it was a manager or just another associate. He's standing over here. He's probably maybe like 10 feet away from me. And he's got his head against the window and he just looks exhausted, like he's an employee, like he just looks overworked, underpaid, of course. But he was a little bit more than exhausted because check this. The manager or whoever he was with, they turn around and they pull out one of those infrared thermometers. And I you not, this woman told him point blank, your temperature is too high. You probably got it, so you should go home now.
Ooh, the ghetto. The ghetto. The ghetto.
So now I'm like 10 feet away from somebody who probably has the Rona. The boss has a mask on. Everybody has to wear a mask that goes in there. But they had no gloves on or anything, so I don't know. So he's just standing there, okay? And I'm sitting here like, I'm contemplating my life. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm about to risk it all for some camera equipment, but I'm already there, so I might as well just go for it. So Becky comes back with a post-it note and she says, we don't have this name in our system. And so I politely responded back and said, how the do you not have him in the system, ma'am? And I'm a black guy, so of course she was alarmed. I don't care. Then she goes through her sob story trying to give me excuses. So she tells me that, they're having 2,000 to 4,000 orders a day and their site isn't accurate right now. And when you place an order online, it doesn't guarantee the items. They don't allocate the merchandise at the time of purchase. I'm like, first of all, what e-com site doesn't allocate merchandise? Like, I place the order, the item's mine. But of course she throws in they're understaffed, overworked, underpaid. I get all that. If I place an order online, it's supposed to be allocated. I mean, that's common sense. I actually did call her Brenda and she told me that her name wasn't Brenda and I was like, I don't care. I mean, none of that's important. Where's my merchandise? So then she tells me to go to the website and check availability. And I'm literally standing right in front of the doors of the place. I'm like, what the are you talking about? So she wanted me to check availability on the site. First of all, one item said it was sold out and the other item said that there were 2 in stock. But by this point, I threw my legs in the air, said, it. I'ma just go home, sat in the car, called my partner, told him what happened. He said, they crazy. He said, I'm crazy. The usual. And I took my black home. So when I got home, guess what happened? They sent him an email confirming that his order was ready for pickup and only one item was in stock. So, in our relationship, I'm the confrontational one. He's not confrontational. So when things like this happen, when you need to call the manager, if I need to put on my little call the manager wig, I'll do that. And I have no problem doing that. So the next day, did the exact same thing, ran my errands, finished that up, and then I went back to Micro Center. So this time I decided to be nice. I stood in line for maybe 2 to 3 minutes just because the line really wasn't long, even though the parking lot was full again. Because when I went there the first time, I just walked straight up there. But if you want to go into the store, you have to actually scan some QR code and they got to put you on a wait list that you can get to the store. So this guy at the door gave me a sheet of paper, probably had Rona on it, and he told me to scan this QR code, set this up in my phone for text messages. And ultimately I had to wait 30 minutes to get into the store. So let's fast forward, 30 minutes have passed. My phone, I get a text saying, you can come to the store. So I go into the store and I decide, instead of going to the back, instead of going to wherever you're supposed to go to pick up an order, that you placed online, I decided to just find the merchandise myself. So I go there. I can't find the items because, again, I'm not a tech person. I'm gonna buy the wrong item 9 times out of 10. So I find an associate, probably has Rona, and I showed him what I was looking for. He pointed me to both items, said this and this. I was like, bam, cool. So I go stand in line, go to the checkout line. So then I get to this register with this little boy, little South Asian boy. So before he scans anything, I tell him my story. I'm like, I have an order that I placed online because I didn't really understand their process because, again, I hadn't shopped there myself personally before. But I explained to him, I said, I've already placed an order. These are the items. I want you to void that transaction and to charge me for the merchandise that sits before you, darling. He seemed super confused by what I was saying. I don't know if I was speaking another language. I don't know what he did not understand from me, but he didn't understand anything that I was saying. So again, I felt like it was like the Twilight Zone. I felt like I was just receiving the in-store version of confusion. So then he decides to go ahead and start babbling about how they're having all these issues, which again, to me as a consumer, it's a bunch of excuses that I honestly don't care about because I need to leave. And he tells me that he can go pick up my order. So I'm like, okay, I have the merchandise in front of me, but go ahead and go to the back and pick it up. He's gone for about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. And like I said, I'm trying to be calm. I see him coming back and he has nothing in his hands. Why does he have nothing in his hands, kids? Yes. He tells me, like Brenda, that there's no order for me in the system at all. Again, keep in mind, and I gotta talk slowly for this. Keep in mind, I gotta lower my voice too. Keep in mind, I had already showed him the email saying the order is ready for pickup and that one item's not in stock. I've literally already showed it to him and he still tells me there's no order that exists. But unlike Brenda, he's very apologetic. He starts, of course, telling me they're having a lot of side issues, which again, I gives no f. So then he comes up with this great idea. He's like, how about I ring up the order of the items that you brought up here and then you can cancel the other one. Are you on dog food? Like, I don't understand what's happening here. Like, did you not just hear what I said like 15 minutes ago? So I played along, I played dumb with him, and I was like, why don't you do that? That sounds great, sis. Dumb. So he says, you know, to just ignore the order, don't worry about it, you won't be charged. I'm sure I will be charged, but tells me don't worry about it. He's like, it's not really there, but it's there. I'm like, okay. It's like a Jesus thing. I don't know what you're trying to tell me, but okay, gotcha, sis. So then he tells me the total. I tell him I'm using their credit card, the Micro Center credit card that my partner decided to randomly get one day, and I swipe the card. Decline. And knowing that this card has no balance, I'm like, what the now? So then he looks down and he sees the card that I'm using and he's like, oh no, you're using the Micro Center credit card? Those are terrible. I'm like, who do you work for? Then he explains to me that Micro Center credit cards have been having issues and they've been getting declined all day long and yada, yada, yada. Just more bullshit I do not care about. So then he's like, do you have another card that you could maybe use to pay for this? Because that card's not gonna go through. And I'm like, sure, why not? I've been here for like 30 minutes for no reason. Why not? So I pull out a different card, pay for it, walk out. I'm just trying to understand, how do you have a store credit card and it auto declines? How are you operating a website that does not allocate merchandise? And how do you provide order numbers and you just ask for the person's name? Personally, I will never shop there again. He may want to shop there, but this right here, she ain't going there no more. I'm not going there for nothing. So yeah, I will be writing them a scathing message on their Facebook just so that people are aware. If you happen to be in Dallas, please do not go to this place. This place sucks. I don't recommend it to anyone. I thought I'd be really irate, but it's been like 24 hours for me to calm down, so I think this was more of a subdued rant. In a clamshell, that's my story. Just another stupid day, but the day was bright because after that, I went to Captain D's. Why? Because I'm not only a fat but because it's good. Feel free to comment below with any customer service issues you've experienced. I would love to hear your story. There's stupidity everywhere. Like, I just went to the post office. Went to the post office yesterday. Now, personally, I believe that if you're going to a carrier facility, if you're going to UPS, if you're going to FedEx, if you're going to the post office, you should have everything ready to go. You should not be coming to a store with just like a box of cheese and you need to find a box for it, you need peanuts for it, you need wrapping for it, like you need to pay for it right there. You know you can do all this online, right? But this never fails. It happens all the time. So this woman, okay, she had like kind of like ran to the front desk because she didn't want me to get in front of her. But I'm like, okay, I have all of my packages ready to go. I just need them scanned. So she gets to the register. She has like 5-6 packages. She's probably spending like $60, $70. Can't remember how much it was exactly. And so she puts her card in. Her card gets declined, okay? Auto decline. And we're not at Micro Center, honey. You got declined. You know why you got declined? Because you don't have any money. So then she takes it out, put it back in, decline. Then she looks at the guy behind the register and she's like, hi, it ain't going through. And he's like, I don't know, it's not my card. I'm like, and I would have said the same thing too. I'm like, why the would I know? Like, I just work here. So then she says she's gonna call her sister for her PIN number. Follow me on this, okay? She calls her sister. I listen to this very closely, so just follow me. She calls her sister. Her sister gives her the PIN number. It's still declined. And then she's like, how do you not know my PIN number? So your sister knows your PIN number, but you don't know your own PIN number, you stupid like, get the out of the line, go home. Of course, she took out another card and she was like, ooh, ain't no money on that. So then she said she'd be back in a minute. Gonna come back. She left all the packages. She didn't even think about it. She literally just drove off. Like, she just left. I'm like, okay. This is stuff that, you know, I and a lot of people deal with because, again, customer service is one of my biggest things on my list. And like one of my biggest pet peeves is just stupidity, and stupidity encompasses so many different things. This is a way for me to manage my bipolar disorder, is venting and ranting. It makes me feel a whole lot better. And then I don't have to take medication because I don't want to take medication. Anyway, rate, comment, subscribe. Definitely let me know if you enjoyed this video. Definitely, like I said a few minutes ago, just leave some comments letting me know of customer service issues that you've experienced or just stupid people you've experienced during the Rona, because there's just been a lot of dumb shit going on that it must stop. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with a whole lot more, guys. Ciao.